Kanye West. I mean, talk about a guy who always seems to be making headlines, right? Whether it's music, fashion, or just, well, stirring things up. But today's deep dive, well, this is heavy stuff. We're talking about some really serious allegations against him.
Yeah, definitely not your typical celebrity gossip here.
No, not at all. We're looking at a news article that came out recently, and it's diving into allegations of drugging and sexual assault made by someone who used to work for West as his personal assistant.
This kind of story, it really makes you think about power dynamics, especially in places like the music industry. Consent, accountability, it all gets thrown into question.
Absolutely. And it's crucial that we talk about these things. So, to be clear, we're talking about a woman named Lauren Pisciotta. She was working as West's assistant for about a year, 2021 to 2022.
Right.
But the assault she's alleging, this was supposedly years earlier at a party, and not just any party, one hosted by Diddy, Sean Combs. Yeah. Pisciotta is claiming that West was pushing guests to drink, really encouraging it. She says she had a few sips of a drink, and then things get really fuzzy. She starts feeling disoriented, and the next thing she remembers, West is telling her they hooked up.
That's incredibly disturbing.
And if that wasn't bad enough, she's also claiming that while she was working for him, he was sending her explicit messages, texts, videos, that sort of thing, creating a really toxic environment, obviously.
Yeah, and that's where the legal side of this gets really interesting and complicated. You've got the alleged assault, which is one thing, but then you've also got these claims of workplace harassment. Two separate issues, really.
Right, because proving an assault from years ago, especially when someone's saying their memory is unclear, that's incredibly tough.
Exactly. It often comes down to evidence, witnesses, and after all this time, well,
Yeah.
But then with the harassment, it's about establishing a pattern of behavior.
Which is what it sounds like Pisciotta's lawyers are going for here, right?
Right.
The alleged assault at Diddy's party, that's a major accusation, but then adding on these texts and videos, it's like they're saying, look, this wasn't a one-time thing, this is how he operates.
It definitely seems that way. And it'll be interesting to see how much weight the courts give to those different elements.
Oh, and there's one more thing. Another singer, Nikki Heaton, she's come forward saying she was at that party too, and she saw what happened to Pisciotta.
Now, that's huge. Corroborating witness testimony like that can make or break a case.
Exactly. It lends a lot more credibility to Pisciotta's story. But of course, we have to acknowledge the other side of this. West's lawyers, they're denying all of it. They've said Pisciotta's initial lawsuit was completely baseless, even accusing her of trying to blackmail West.
Yeah, that's their job, right?
Yeah.
To defend their client no matter what.
Of course. But here's what's weird to me. With accusations this big, you'd think West would want to clear his name, come out swinging, wouldn't you?
You'd think.
But from what I'm hearing, he's gone totally silent. Like, there are reports that he's holed up in a hotel room in Tokyo, completely focused on his music.
Huh. A little strange, don't you think?
Totally. I mean, this is Kanye West we're talking about, right? This is a guy who loves the spotlight, but suddenly he's laying low in a single hotel room. And we're not talking about some fancy suite, from what I understand, just a regular room.
It makes you wonder, right? Is he trying to avoid the press, the public, all of it?
Yeah.
Or is it possible that these allegations are getting to him more than he's letting on?
Maybe he's just trying to focus on his creative outlet, trying to block out all the noise.
Could be. But it all circles back to that question we always seem to be wrestling with, especially when it comes to artists. How do you separate the person from the art they create?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Can you or should you even try to separate the two, especially when you're talking about such serious accusations? And it's especially tough with Kanye, right? He's built his entire persona on being outspoken, on pushing boundaries.
Yeah, he's practically made a career out of courting controversy.
And look, I'm not here to say what anyone should or shouldn't listen to or how they should feel about Kanye West's music. But what I do know is this whole situation, it leaves you thinking. Regardless of how this all plays out legally, will it change how people view his past work, his future albums? I mean, what does this do to his legacy?
It's something we're all going to have to grapple with, I think.
Yeah.
As this story develops, as more information comes out, if it does, it's a powerful reminder that there are always two sides to every story.
Yeah.
And behind the fame, the money, the catchy tunes, there are real people, and real lives are being impacted.
Absolutely. Well said. And that's our deep dive for today. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on this story as it unfolds. Thanks for listening.